It's the most wonderful time of the year, or at least that's what the song says. But what if it's not? What if wonderful is the last word you would use to describe how you're feeling right now? For some of you, we understand the holidays come with a lot of anxiety, stress, and even depression, especially if you've recently lost a loved one or even if it's been a while. So while we are focusing on the joys of the holidays this week, we also want to tackle the tough parts that come with this time of the year. And you're about to meet three beautiful women who all lost their beautiful mothers, but they've all found ways to keep pressing through, even through their broken hearts. They have a message for anyone who is grieving through the holidays. So let's talk about it today on Portia. Hello and welcome to the show. I want to thank you for joining us because I get it. Grief is hard to discuss, but it's even harder to ignore, especially during the holidays. So we're jumping right into this conversation with fond memories and some helpful strategies to get you through the holiday season when you are grieving. I want you to meet Sydney Wooten. She's going into her first holiday season without her mother, Chandra, and she says this time of year is already bringing back some old but good memories. And then there's Ryan Soche. She's going into her second holiday season without her mother, Sharon, but she's channeled her grief into a podcast. It's new. It's called How Do I Do This with Ryan? And here to help us navigate grief during the holidays is Dr. Chinasa Elue. As a grief coach and a professor, Dr. Elue knows firsthand the heartbreak of losing her mother, Charity. Ladies, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I know this is tough for you all more so than me, for sure. So I thank you for being willing to help women connect, and men, because everyone's going through it, right?
Yes.
Can we talk first just about your mothers?
Of course.
Chandra, that's how much I loved your mother. Your mother was Chandra. Forgive me, but this is, I have to admit, a bit hard for my heart as well. Sydney,
Yes.
Your mother was the biggest fan of the Portia show for years.
Yes.
Wrote an email every day with her critiques and compliments. And you know how funny she was.
Yes.
Just tell us about your mom.
So my mom, she was probably the best person that I've ever known. She was a school teacher, so she was very intelligent. She worked hard literally her whole life. So just a big role model and just a
And your
really
biggest
big inspiration.
cheerleader throughout the course of your career, working in healthcare, and then you end up caring for your mother in her final months.
Yes.
I don't want to ask what that was like, but I want to understand, what did you learn from your mother in caring for her in the end?
It was not the easiest. I think I tried to turn off my daughter brain and turn on my nurse brain to really try and, make sure that she was getting the care that she needed and deserved. But it was a little difficult at times to, have to do certain things for her that she did for me when I was a baby.
Yeah.
A lot of different role switching, so it was a little bit difficult.
Yeah. Ryan, for you, very different scenario when you lost your beautiful mother, Sharon.
Yeah. It was a normal Saturday. I had on my list things I was getting ready to do. It was the Saturday before Thanksgiving last year. And I understand that my mom and dad did too. And my parents got up that morning. They had a lovely time together the night before. They've been married over 50 years. And Mom said she just wanted some time alone to be with God for a little bit. My dad said, I'm going to lay back down. And then he said, I'll get up in a little bit and make coffee. And then when he woke up, unfortunately, she was no longer with us. And I was working out here and got the phone call, and then everything's been turned upside down since.
Ever since, yeah. And I have to imagine, so close to the holidays, it must, what does that do for your sense of structure, your sense of what peace looks like when you were supposed to be planning a holiday with your mother?
Honestly, last year, a lot of it is still a blur. And so even though this is technically my second holiday, I'm trying to figure out what the new normal looks like for my family. I have a grade school son, and he adored his grandmother, and she adored him too, spoiled him rotten. And so figuring out the new normal for our family and how to honor her and still make sure she very much has a seat at the table and her spirit is kept alive.
That's interesting. I want to talk about that later in the show. Is there still an honorary seat at the table even?
Sure.
Dr. Elue, for you.
Well, my mom was my rock. She was my best friend. She was someone that I knew I could count on through thick and thin. And so my mom was diagnosed with cancer in 2019. When she was diagnosed, it was so abrupt, and they gave her 6 months to live. And so during that time frame, I was newly pregnant with our second child. I was not sure if she was going to get an opportunity to even meet her. And thankfully, by the grace of God, my mom lived 11 months. She met my daughter. And she sang to her, prayed over her, and then she passed away in May of 2019.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Aptly named Charity.
Yes. She was such a beautiful soul. And I always look for opportunities to honor her memory.
And so when it's been how many years now?
It's been 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
So you're all sort of a different phase, but we understand that the phases of grief, it doesn't really end, right? It just keeps evolving.
Yes.
What's the way that you would describe it in your own personal experiences right now?
I would say it sort of ebbs and flows like a roller coaster a little bit. Like some days I can get up, I'm like, okay, let's do this, da-da-da. But then I'll go to like Target or somewhere and see like Christmas decorations, and I'll get a little upset because
She loved Christmas decorations.
she loved the holiday. So I'll just get a little upset, be like, "Ugh, it's sad that she can't be here to experience this."
Yeah, and I think, we have a clip of your mother when she joined us, because I want you all to remember Chandra too. You're going to say, oh, that Chandra. We have a clip when she joined us for our holiday show, a Thanksgiving show a couple of years ago. Let's take a look.
Well, I'm just thankful that I wake up every day. Because I've been diagnosed with a genetic disability. And I just thank God that I'm able to wake up every day.
I have to admit, I need a minute too. What do you do now, this first holiday season?
Well, since I'm a nurse, lucky for me, I get to work. Someone has to be in the hospital, so
Right.
working honestly really does give me a good distraction
Yeah.
from being apart from my mom. So I am, fortunately or unfortunately, working all the holidays this year, but it gives me a chance.
You didn't
to
ask for the
kinda-
holiday. I know you. You didn't ask for the holidays off. You wanted to work straight through, but it was a
Exactly.
coping
Yes.
mechanism. We're going to pause right here because there are lots of coping mechanisms that you've all adapted to. And up next, the ladies share how they turned their pain into purpose and how they care for themselves while navigating grief. I hope you'll stay with us. We'll be right back.
Initially, when I lost my mom, I was numb. I had so many questions for God. And I think this is the piece where I think spirituality and these conversations have to come into play, because we were trusting God for a miracle.
Welcome back to the conversation. That was a clip from Dr. Elue's podcast, Grieving in Color. And we're talking about how to navigate the holidays while carrying the grief of losing a loved one. Sydney Wooten and Ryan Sochet are back with us as well. We both lost their mothers and are here to remind us that grief looks different for all of us. But what you did in the months, the years afterwards is really a powerful testimony, and I think a teachable moment for our viewers. You also, Ryan, created a podcast.
I did. And it was really born out of, you were talking about faith. Before my mom passed, I've had many year practice of, I have quiet time in the morning with me and God, and I journal. And one morning I was journaling and I was in a really low place, and I just felt this whisper in my heart that said, Ryan, show people what you're doing, how you're doing this. And I remember I even wrote in my journal, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I remember very clearly feeling that's the point. And my mom was a teacher, and I really feel like she and God gave me this idea to teach people how I'm imperfectly doing this. I'm just your average mom. I don't have a nanny. I don't have a chef. I'm trying to get my child to school, figure out dinner.
Busy attorney as well.
Be an
Yes,
attorney
yes.
too. But figure out how to do the next 45 years of my life without my mom. Because she's our first Google search. We ask her for everything.
Well said. Well said.
And I didn't know how to do this. So my podcast, I sit down and share what I'm doing and talk with other people who are really smart to find out.
And very candidly so.
Yes.
Very
yes.
candidly
We don't
so.
sugarcoat it.
No sugarcoating. Let's take a look at a clip. One that is not sugarcoated, but we can still air. Let's take a look.
I was going through stress and grief, and my body had changed. And I was very angry at my closet, and I was very angry at my clothes, and I was dressing out as a way that I didn't feel was me, my sparkly self.
Because you always were like, I'm a fun lawyer. You will always throw that out. You're like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a fun lawyer.
I am a fun lawyer.
And so I'm like, get out of your black clothes. What are you doing?
Because that was something I really, really struggled with. Was I wanted to feel fabulous, but nothing felt fabulous.
Yes.
Nothing felt fabulous.
Yeah.
Nothing feels fabulous. I saw you agreeing with the connection point there. What was it that moved you in that part of the conversation?
Honestly, you don't feel good. You feel like you've lost a part of your life. The very person who gave birth to you, that was there from your inception. When my mom left, I think about how I felt lost for some time. And it took a very long time for me to really find my footing again. And I think that was a piece of my grief journey that I didn't anticipate. Just this feeling of just wondering what's next. How will I get back up again?
Is it easier talking about it once you've got like a microphone and maybe somebody sitting across from you? How cathartic was that?
Oh my goodness. I love talking about my mother. I think the thing about grief is that people oftentimes don't want to talk about it. And it felt comforting to me to share memories and stories of my mom. It was an opportunity for me to really keep her memory alive, because I think one of my biggest fears has always been forgetting. Forgetting the essence of who she is, forgetting her voice, forgetting her scent. And so sharing her with the world gives me an opportunity to really honor and highlight someone who was such an amazing person who blessed the world.
And getting
in
to
so
share
many
the
ways.
lessons. And tell
Yes.
people how they can listen to your podcast.
Absolutely. You can catch my podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, or any platform you stream.
Yeah, and you can listen to and watch How Do I Do This with Ryan. It streams on YouTube and anywhere you can find podcasts. Sydney, I want to come back to you because this is your first. And I know sometimes you say, and I think you've probably all expressed this in some form or fashion, don't text me, what can I do to help? Is that the most annoying thing that we can say? Like, what is the more helpful version of what do I do? Because we want to help. And I'll be honest, sometimes I don't know what to say when I'm reaching out to you, but I'm like, I gotta say something because I promised her mama I'd take care of her.
You did. I think the most helpful thing is honestly just doing. Taking initiative.
So just bring the food.
Yes, bring the food.
Just send the text.
Yes.
Just send
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be a long scripture.
No.
Said the woman raised in the Baptist church.
No, it does not have to be. It can be as simple as yesterday I received a lovely text from a girlfriend that said, I know this week is hard and I'm checking on you. That's it. So
Yeah.
kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so profound, honestly, especially during your year first, when you have those first birthdays or holidays without your parent, right? Specifically your mom, having a bouquet of flowers sent over, or her favorite, a favorite keepsake of hers really does speak volumes.
And you lost your mother, Charity, right after Mother's Day?
I lost her right after Mother's Day. And it was such a jarring experience, but I remember just my friends who had even experienced loss before knowing what to do almost in a way. Specifically, I think about that first Christmas. One of them brought an ornament that was so beautiful, and they were able to come with me as I decorated the tree because that was the last thing we did the year before, and then they presented it to me as a gift.
Is it important, or let me ask you, rephrase it. How important is it to let people have the holiday the way they want to, the way you want to have it, right? because people are trying to force, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, because we're trying to make it normal. Talk to us through what it looks like to help you maneuver through the holiday as you would see fit.
Yeah.
I think just recognizing that we don't have a normal anymore. And we are desperately trying to figure out what the new normal is. And I think this is where grace comes in. And trusting people that they know best what's going to feel good to them.
Yeah.
And also knowing that, you know, your friend may flake. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Invite them anyways, even if you know they're going to flake. Let them be included, but also give them that space to say, but if you don't feel like it, that's okay too.
Yeah. Or I thought I was going to be able to make it, but I'm not ready to be
and
around a bunch of people.
Don't guilt trip them later. So that's fine because they're just desperately trying to grapple and figure out what this life looks like before this grief incident happened.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. This is good, ladies. This is good and so helpful. Coming up, these ladies are going to break down some other strategies for effectively supporting the people in our lives who are grieving through the holidays and really year round. It's not like it stops during the holidays. So the conversation will continue right after break, and I hope you'll be back. We have just a couple of minutes left here, and I want to dive into one of the things Dr. Elue says is important to do, naming and releasing guilt.
Yes, I think it's so critical because oftentimes when you experience the loss of a loved one, you feel guilty experiencing joy again. You feel like, how am I able to experience this sensation knowing that that loved one is no longer present with me? I recall very vividly during my first year of losing my mom during the holidays, we needed to create a new tradition. We knew we could not do the normal things that we had done before. And so we traveled to a beach house and we were trying to recreate her famous dressing recipe. And I remember very vividly not being able to remember, was it 2 boxes of cornbread or 1, you know, or how much celery to put into the mix, right? And we botched it, of course, that first year. But after a couple of years, we were able to nail down the recipe and we've rinsed and repeated it ever since, right? But I think it's just giving myself the opportunity to now enjoy it. But beforehand, it was a little bit difficult.
It took some work, a couple times, right?
Yes,
Ryan, for you, I know cooking is a part of carrying on your mother's traditions, but as a mother, modeling what grief looks like is also important for you.
Yeah, with a grade school son, my husband and I have named it, you know, because early on he said, Mom is sad. And finally I said, yes, I'm sad, but Mom is grieving and you can grieve too. And it's kind of like crayons in the box. Not every color is our favorite to color with, but it takes the whites and it takes the browns to make other colors that we love as much to stand out. And so giving him permission to say, your grief can look like anger. Your grief can look like, I miss her. Your grief can look like sadness. And it's all okay. And Mom and Dad are here for those big feelings. We're having big feelings too.
Yeah, big feelings. Sydney, I want to give you the last word here. And just want to thank you for sharing your mother with the team Portia and all of us. So we loved her so much. But for you, what's next?
Honestly, I don't really know what's next. I wish I had a crystal ball to see, you know, what's going to happen. But honestly, I think just keeping her spirit alive, always talking about her, keeping her memory alive, and just honestly being the person that she raised me to be.
Yeah, she was a beautiful teacher. You're a beautiful nurse. And I feel like that really does carry on the tradition of the lessons that she taught you. I want to thank all of you for sharing the lessons of your mothers with all of us during this time of the year and throughout the year. I've learned a lot, and I hope you did too. We'll be right back. I am truly grateful to Sydney, Ryan, and Dr. Elue for opening up about their journeys with grief during the holidays and year-round. They all remind us that we can lift ourselves and one another, and that God's love and strength never fail. As we move through the holidays, may we honor the light of the loved ones we've lost, hold room for those who are hurting, and still find time for joy. You can check out Ryan's podcast, How Do I Do This with Ryan? It streams on YouTube, the Fox Local app, and you can also find it on Spotify and Apple. And Dr. Elue's podcast, Grieving in Color, can also be found on Apple and Spotify. Thanks for watching, and be sure to be the reason why someone smiles today.